2023 is coming to an end, and it's been another big year for Skyrim modding, so now it's time to reflect and celebrate some of the best mods of the year, ranging from visual enhancements to combat and everything else in between. Of course, these are just my top picks. If you disagree or have a favourite of your own, feel free to let me know down in the comments. Jumping right in, it has been an incredible year for armor mods, with many high quality designs being released. A few of my favourites include the beautiful Colovian Prince armor, presenting an adorned heavy armor set akin to a knight with a flowing winter coat and fully enclosed mask, making for a stunning lore-friendly design. Or the unique Highlander armor, a Scottish-inspired light armor, complete with checkered fabric and an optional wolf helmet. This was definitely a standout from the year for me. Another standout was the Mythic Dawn armor, a lore-friendly rendition inspired by the Order of the Mythic Dawn, who were a group of Daedra worshippers. This armor features blood red cloth and comes in both light and heavy armor variants, perfect for a more sinister playthrough. But my favourite for the year would have to be the Traveller's outfit, a combination of 4 different sets of armor ranging from light to heavy. These craftable outfits get progressively better as you upskill your smithing and are able to craft with better and more durable materials. A great way to show progression throughout your playthrough, not to mention the fantastic design and practical nature of each outfit. Next up are my top landscape and environmental mods, starting with the all-in-one grass overhaul called Skoglendi. This mod not only transforms your landscape into lush fields of beautiful grass, but is also relatively performance friendly and fits well within the art style of Skyrim. So if you're looking for a high quality grass mod, you can't go wrong with this one. On to tree mods, and the best one for me was the fabled forest mod, which replaced all the pine trees with gigantic imposing versions, bringing a very dark and fantasy atmosphere to your game. It's definitely a stylistic choice, but one that presents a unique twist on your normal Skyrim forest. It's also best to be used alongside the Happy Little Trees mod, as the models are based on those trees. For terrain, Mysterious Dawn released a whole series of complex parallax terrain mods earlier on in the year. All look fantastic and provide beautiful depth to your landscape. You can either use each one separately to cover different areas of Skyrim, or get the all-in-one version called the Omnibus, which will overhaul all the areas on the map. And lastly, there was also a complex parallax texture overhaul for Northern Road users that looks absolutely fantastic, and gives a real sense of broken and uneven terrain to your roads. Another favourite of mine that has stayed locked in my load order ever since. Moving on to some more general visual mods, we can't look past the Community Shaders collection. This group of mods aims to advance the graphics of Skyrim and provides an alternative to using an EMB. The collection includes several mods that add features such as grass lighting and parallax materials, but the crown jewel of the collection would have to be the light limit fix, which made dynamic lights unlimited and offered support for particle lights without the need to use an EMB. Truly a monumental achievement. Speaking of EMBs, the mod called EMB Dynamic Cube Maps was another game changer. Essentially, this mod will enable better cube maps for vanilla objects in Skyrim. So for example, your metallic armor and weapons will now have a much more prominent shine to them and appear more reflective to the world around you, giving your game a far more realistic feel to it. Another personal favourite of mine was the Alsopper Shields Redone mod, which reimagined and visually enhanced some of the iconic shields in Skyrim. For me, these all provide an upgrade over the originals, especially the new Dragonbone shield, which now features the actual skull of a dragon, which is pretty awesome, and 10 out of 10 would recommend for everyone to try out. Now let's turn our attention to immersion mods, always a popular category within the community, and to start is the Skyclimb mod, which very simply allows you to climb up and over any ledge or elevated surface with just the click of a button. Using the EVG traversal framework, This mod provides a very fun and creative way to traverse the Skyrim landscape. The mod will essentially test for any ledges around you and display a glowing light when within distance for you to jump up and over, making Skyrim a truly immersive experience. Then we have a combination of two awesome mods called Exhaustion and Exercise. Together, these two mods provide a unique way to balance and grow your main resources, health, stamina and magicka. Exhaustion will implement a fatigue system which will slowly add a growing penalty to each resource the more you use them. For example, if I have 100 magicka and spam a lot of spells, soon my total magicka will drop back to 90. This is designed to imitate your character becoming exhausted. On the flip side, Exercise then does the opposite and will naturally increase your main resource by the amount you exhausted throughout the day. Again, a mage will quickly gain a large pool of magicka the more spells they use. To trigger this effect and reset your resources back to normal, you will have to make your character go to sleep, which then provides an in-game immersive reason for you to rest each night. This combination of both mods organically works incredibly well and provides a natural way that increases your character's stats depending on your own playstyle. And the last top immersive mod this year was none other than Skyrim on Skooma. If you're looking for a totally unique and crazy experience, then this is the mod for you. All you have to do is have a drink of some skooma and enjoy the ride as it takes you on an unexpected and unique adventure. Each adventure is completely different, ranging from distinct visual effects to totally alternate realms. One thing is for sure, you won't get bored playing around with this mod, just try not to get too addicted to skooma. Next are my favourite creature and enemy mods, and to start is the mod called The Restless Dead. This mod improves upon the undead Draugr by increasing the variety you will encounter and making them more challenging to fight. In the original game, you would often find yourself coming up against the same Draugr variants over and over again, but now dungeons will feel completely fresh with a huge display of hulking warriors, deadly bowmen, potent mages, and even skeletons that are missing a limb or their entire head. I love this mod, and it has not only made Nordic ruins a joy to explore, but also a much more dangerous prospect to enter. Highly recommend for your next playthrough. Next is the Haunting Spriggans SE mod, which will redesign all the Spriggans in your game with a deadly, almost rotten appearance. This mod is visual only, but brings a much darker atmosphere with a perfect balance between horror and fantasy for these misunderstood creatures. And I couldn't do a best of 2023 video without including the Thicken mod, which very simply will make your chickens and other birds nice and chunky. Seriously though, this mod has stayed in my load order ever since release and always brings a smile to my face when I come up along a plump chicken just living its best life. Moving on to some of the best combat mods, we have Dynamic Impact / Effects. This mod is visual only and adds a new particle effect when hitting an enemy with your weapon. The effect will vary depending on what enemy you are hitting, so a human will produce blood, Draugr will produce a puff of dust, and dwarven or metal enemies will produce sparks. Altogether, this mod makes combat a lot more visceral and gives your weapon swings a lot more impact, creating a far better combat experience for all. Then we have the Ashes of War Weapon Art mod, that adds a series of special attacks via the additional attack hotkey. Very simply, with a hotkey you can perform a huge variety of special attacks that differ from your normal light and heavy attacks. There's a large catalogue to choose from, where some are more simple and others are much more extravagant, but there is always something for everyone. Overall, this mod is fantastic and adds another angle to your combat loop. And lastly is the simple mod called Eivor ADXP MCO Sprint Attacks, which adds a variety of sprint attacks to several different weapons. Often MCO movesets don't include sprint attack animations, so you're stuck with the vanilla counterpart, This mod fills in that role, and although inspired by Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I found them very grounded, fun to use, and will complete your combat experience. Next is the last category of the video, animation mods, and I want to begin with the Open Animation Replacer SKSE plugin. Although not an animation mod itself, it provides a framework for other animation mods and has built upon the Dynamic Animation Replacer framework, creating an exciting amount of new possibilities. The features and depth of this mod are staggering, with new conditions, seamless transitions, and an in-game UI which allows you to edit each animation as you want. Truly one of the best mods of the year, and I look forward to future possibilities. Moving on to an actual animation mod, we have the comprehensive first-person animation overhaul, which will rework all your vanilla first-person animations, and there are thousands included in this mod. Each weapon and spell now have their own unique animations, creating a complete first-person experience with more variety and immersion. It also comes with an extensive installation foam mod, so you can pick and choose the animations you like and leave out the ones you don't. Without a doubt, my favorite animation mod from 2023. And lastly is the Dynamic Sprint Animation mod. Utilizing the new Open Animation Replacer framework, this mod dynamically changes your sprint animation depending on the type of weapon you're wielding. But it doesn't stop there. Your sprint animation will also change whether you are in or out of combat. Again, this mod adds a ton of variety, really increasing the immersion of your game, and it's those little details that make Skyrim much more enjoyable. Again, I highly recommend checking this one out. Now before we finish, some of you might be wondering what my favorite Skyrim mod of 2023 is, and while it is very hard to choose, if I had to, I would pick the combination of exhaustion and exercise. These two mods are the kind that I love, providing a unique way to grow your character in an immersive and very rewarding manner. The design is simple, but also complex at the same time, and the way it ties back to how you choose to play the game is just perfect to me. These are also very underrated, with little over 3k downloads each, so if I could recommend a couple of mods for you to try out this year, it would be these two. Otherwise, thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you again next time. Happy holidays everyone!